Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Radhihare Gopi Janavalabha Girivanedhari Vallabha Girivanedhari Gopi Janavalabha Girivanedhari Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Brajagana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivanedhari Janavallabha Girivanedhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivanedhari Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Bhagavacharya Satarya Satishimada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Gauda Vaishnavindaki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki. ISKCON founder Srila Prabhupada Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mayapur Dham Ki. Navadvip Dham Ki. Jamuna Mai Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Tulsi Devi Ki. Bhakta Devi Ki. Shri Radha Golokananda Ki. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Madhya Lila, chapter 20. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Sanatana Goswami in the science of the absolute truth. And we're at text 177. Om Aganda Tamarandasha Gananjana Shalakaya Chakchur Omali Tamina Tajma Shri Gurave Namaha. So Lord Chaitanya continues. In his original form, the Lord dresses like a cowherd boy and thinks himself one. When he appears as Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, his dress and consciousness are those of a Kshatriya, a warrior. When one compares the beauty, opulence, sweetness, and intellectual pastimes of Vasudeva, the warrior, to Krishna, the cowherd boy, son of Nanda Maharaj, one sees that Krishna's attributes are more pleasant. Indeed, Vasudeva is agitated just to see the sweetness of Govinda, and a transcendental greed awakens in him to enjoy that sweetness. So you see, Krishna and Dwarka even has greed, Lobha. Let's see. 180, text 180. My dear friend, this dramatic actor appears like a second form of my own self, like a picture. He displays my pastimes as a cowherd boy, overflowing with wonderfully attractive sweetness and fragrance, which are so dear to the damsels of Vraja. When I see such a display, my heart becomes greatly excited. I long for such pastimes and desire a form exactly like that of the damsels of Vraja. Purport? This verse is found in the Lalita Madhava, chapter 4, text 19. It was spoken by Vasudeva in Dwarka. And another example of this, of Krishna having greed for Krishna and Vrindavan, is in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. When Gopakumar in his travels made it to Dwarka, and Gopakumar's cowherd boy, young cowherd boy, and he dresses like a cowherd boy, and he has a flute. Cowherd boys have a flute, and he has his flute tucked into his whatever he was wearing, his dhoti, his pants, whatever it was. And so he comes to the assembly of the Yadavas. And Krishna's there, the big assembly, and they bring him there, and Krishna sees him. And so when he sees him, he gets reminded of Vrindavan. But then he takes Gopakumar's flute. And when he takes Gopakumar's flute, he starts losing external consciousness. And he starts feeling this ecstasy, like described here, this loba, this greed, this relish of those pastimes. And so Uddhava kind of, brings it back to consciousness, because he's in this assembly, and it's not really his expressions of his emotions is not so appropriate for that place and that time. And so he kind of revives him, and then, so at that point, Krishna dismisses everybody, and he goes back to his private quarters, and he takes Gopakumar with him. So we can see that Vasudeva also feels this actually. Another one, that's in the second part. In the first part, when Narada Muni's searching to find out who's the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy, that's part one. The whole first part is that. In the purport of the part one should understand that Sanatana Goswami says that the purport is that the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy is the gopis. So that's the conclusion that one should come to reading part one, and then before they read part two. But Uddhava, Narada Muni's journey through pretty much Srimad Bhagavatam, all the different personalities of Srimad Bhagavatam, one after another, and each time he goes to meet someone, whether it's Brahma, Shiva, the Pandavas, they always point the finger at somebody else who's more greater recipient, And that search that eventually brought him to Uddhava. And then when he was visited Uddhava, Krishna's palaces, Krishna wasn't actually present. He was sleeping. He'd, fainted some type of illness. He didn't get out of bed. And so there was Uddhava and Balaram, Rohini, some of Krishna's wives, Krishna's grandmother, Kamsa's wife, her name is, I don't remember, Padmavati. And so there was a whole discussion about who does Krishna really think about during the day? Who does he really favor? So this is the conclusion. Who's always on his mind? Krishna's mind. And so there was discussion, and of course they all realized that even the queens, they talk about, well, he sleeps at night. He talks about the gopis in Vrindavan. And then they said, well, that's not when he sleeps at night. During the day, he also brings that up. So they have this, Krishna eventually comes out after hearing all this discussion, this kind of argument back and forth, and so they're saying that, you should go back to Vrindavan. Rohini, Balaram, Uddhava, because they've all been there. They've experienced Vrindavan. Uddhava went there for a couple of months. Balaram, of course, grew up there. He went back even for a couple of months. Rohini stayed a little bit longer after Krishna left. And what they all saw was the condition of the Vrajavasis after Krishna left. So they all experienced this intense greed and intense mood of separation that they were all feeling. And so bringing this out, this argument, of course, Padmavati, she didn't think that was a good idea. She thought that, what do those good-for-nothings ever do for Krishna? They didn't even give him any shoes. He had to walk around barefoot, And they put him to work, and made him hurt, If we owe them any money, I'll talk to my husband. We can pay him any money that they feel that they have due. But Krishna shouldn't go back to Vrindavan. He should stay here. So this kind of argument. So anyway, Krishna, it's brought out his emotions also for Vrindavan. And so then it all wound up, everybody crying. The emotions were really strong. the feelings were really high, and such a state that Lord Brahma heard this commotion. This is a spiritual energy in itself that's manifesting there, and it stretched all the way up to Brahmaloka. So he comes down, and he sees that the whole Dwarka's in this huge pit of emotional state. So there's this Nava Vrindavan, this new Vrindavan that Vishvakarma created, and so Krishna, the thought, because he's in this mood of losing external consciousness and this mood of separation from the gopis, that he's not functioning. So they figure, well, we can bring him to this new Vrindavan and kind of revive him, let him experience this new Vrindavan. So the plan was, Balaram, was that the only people who can go, Balaram can take Krishna there. Narada, all the queens can watch at a certain distance, and Narada Muni takes some hiding place up in the clouds to observe what's going on. And so at that time, Garuda comes, and Garuda takes Krishna and Balaram to this new Vrindavan. And Krishna's lying on a bed, and Balaram changes his clothes and puts him in the attire of a cowherd boy, more suitable for. But one thing about this new Vrindavan is an exact replica, but all the cows, all the residents there were statues, in a sense. They were immovable. And so Balaram brings Krishna out of his external. And when he wakes up, he sees, oh, I'm home. I've been having this dream that I was, a warrior, and I was fighting demons, and it was just a dream that I was in. And so now that I'm awake, so it's normally past time to go herd the cows. So he takes Balaram, starts taking him out in the pastures where they herd the cows, but everybody he sees and talks to don't talk back to him. And at one point he even sees Radharani, and she doesn't talk back and communicate with him. He just feels, oh, maybe she's just stunned to see me, that she can't communicate. So anyway, they go for a distance, and then Balaram, they hear this noise, this water. And so he thinks it's the Yamuna, but really what it is the ocean. The waves are crashing on the shore because they're really in Dwarka. So at this point, Balaram explains to him what has happened. What is conditioned. He is not a dream. He is, and this is a Navarindavan. So that's there's two examples where Krishna, when he thinks about, and then I'm not going to go any further in the story other than to say that when he came back and brought the queens, and he basically told him, I was not even interested in marrying any of you, that I really, Vrindavan is where my heart is. So all this came out. Okay, so I didn't actually expect to go with that, but okay. All right, text 181. One instance of Vasudev's attraction to Krishna occurred when Vasudeva saw the Gandharva dance at Mathura. Another incident occurred in Dwarka when Vasudeva was surprised to see a picture of Krishna, who manifests an abundance of sweetness greater than mine, which has never been experienced before and which causes wonder to all. Alas, I myself, my mind, bewildered upon seeing this beauty, impetuously desire to enjoy it like Srimati Radharani. This purport, this verse is spoken by Vasudeva in Dwarka. It is also recorded by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Alita Madhava, chapter 8, text 34. 183. When that body is a little differently manifest and its features are a little different in transcendental emotion and form, it is called Tad Ekama. In the Tad Ekatma Rupa, there are pastime expansions, vilas, and personal expansions, svamsa. Consequently, there are two divisions. According to pastime and personal expansion, there are various differences. Purport. The Lord's vilas expansion is described in the following verse from the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, first chapter, text 15. Sarup Svarup Anyakaram Yat Tasya Bhati Vilasata Prayenat Ma Swamim Sakyasa Vilaso Negatyate. When the Lord displays numerous forms with different features by his inconceivable potency, such forms are called Vilas Vigrahas. The Lord's Svamsa expansion are also described in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, same chapter, text 17. Tadriso Numna Saktem Yo Vinaki Svamsa Irita Sankar Sandir Mat Svaidir Yata Tat Tat Svamhams Masu Svadhams Masu. When a form of Krishna is non-different from the original form, but is less important and exhibits less potency, it is called svamsa. Examples of svamsa expansion can be found in the quadruple forms of the Lord residing in their respective places, beginning with Sankarshan, Vasudev, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, and also in the Purusa avatars, Leela avatars, Manva avatars, and Yuga avatars. Text 185. Again, this Vilas forms are divided into twofold categories, Prabhava and Vaibhava. Again, the pastimes of these forms are unlimited variety. The chief quadruple expansions are named Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. These are called Prabhav Vilas. Balaram, who has the same original form as Krishna, is himself a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. He also considers himself a member of the Kshatriya race in Dwarka. Thus his color and dress are different, and he is called a pastime form of Krishna. Sri Balaram is a Vaibhava Prakash manifestation of Krishna. He is also manifested in the original quadruple expansions of Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. These are the Prabhavilas expansions with different emotions. The first expansion of the Chakravyuha, quadruple forms, is unique. There is nothing to compare with them. These quadruple forms are the source of unlimited quadruple forms. So every universe that's expanded comes out of the pores of Mahavishnu. These four also expand into that universe, on every universe. So in that way, in other ways, it's unlimited. These four Prabhav pastime forms of Lord Krishna reside eternally in Dwarka and Mathura. From the original quadruple expansion, 24 forms are manifested. They differ according to the placement of the weapons in their four hands. They are called Vaibhava Vilas. Lord Krishna again expands, and within the Parayoma, the spiritual sky, he is situated in fullness as the four-handed Narayan, accompanied by expansions of the original quadruple form. Purport. At the top of the Parayoma, the spiritual sky, there is Goloka Vrindavan, which is divided into three parts. Two of the parts, called Mathura, and Dwarka are the residences of Krishna in his Prabhava-vilas forms. Balaram, Krishna's Vaibhava Prakash, is eternally situated in Gokula. From the quadruple Prabhava Vilas, 24 forms of the Vaibhava Vilas are expanded. Each has 4 hands holding weapons in different positions. The topmost planet in the spiritual sky is Goloka Vrindavan, and below that planet is the spiritual sky itself. And that spiritual sky, Krishna himself, is 4-handed and is situated as Narayan. So Gopakumar, we just mentioned him, in his travels, he went to Dwarka, he went to Ayodhya, of course he went to the spiritual sky. But after he first went to Vaikuntha, before he went to each one of these places, he went back to Vrindavan and Bhoma Vrindavan, earthly Vrindavan, in the material world. Of course, his journey started at Govardhan in the material world. He got an opportune, due to the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this was revealed later, that he took the position of his guru. And we've heard this before, that when Gopakumar met Mahavishnu, he asked him, he told him, I kept wondering when you're going to turn around and look at me. We've discussed this before. Will it be this birth and this birth? But then he interceded into his normal core of events and took birth as Gopakumar's spiritual master. Personally took charge of Gopakumar's, made arrangements for him to be born at Govardhan, and then gave him instructions. So after that, he talked to Narada Muni, left. He decided to keep going because he wasn't really happy in that Vaikuntha. But he always went back to Vrindavan. And then he went to Ayodhya, went back to Vrindavan, went to Dwarka, came back to Vrindavan. This time his ecstasy and his devotion was so intense, and his humility had maxed out his humility, which opened up the door for him to experience bhava at his highest point. And he could experience prema. And then he described he fell in the Yamuna. And then when he got out of the Yamuna, he had transported again back to the Gokul. Okay, 193. Any questions? Any comments? 193. Thus, the original quadruple forms again manifest themselves in a second set of quadruple expansions. The resonance of these second quadruple expansions cover the 4 directions. Again, these quadruple forms expand 3 times, beginning with Keshava. That is the fulfillment of the pastime forms. Out of the Chakravyuha, there are 3 expansions of each and every form, and they are named differently according to the position of the weapons. The Vasudeva expansions are Keshava, Narayan, and Madhava. The expansions of Sankarshan are Govinda, Vishnu, and Madhusudana. Thus, Govinda is different from the original Govinda, for he is not the son of Maharaj Nanda. The expansions of Pradyumna are Trivikram, Vamana, and Sridhar. The expansions of Aniruddha are Rishikesh, Padmanabha, and Damodar. These 12 are the predominated deities of the 12 months. Keshava is the predominating deity of Argayana, and Narayan is the predominating deity of Posha. The predominating deity of the month of Magh is Madhava. The predominating deity of the month of Phalguna is Govinda. Vishnu is the predominating deity of Chaitra. And Madhusudana is the predominating deity of Vaishakha. In the month of Jyeshta, the predominating deity is Trivikram. And Asada, the deity of is Vamana. And Shravana, the deity, is Sridhar. And Bhadra, the deity, is Rishikesh. These are also the names of the tilak when we put on tilak. In the month of Asvini, the predominating deity is Padmanabha. And in Kartika, it is Damodar. This Damodar is different from the Radha Damodar, the son of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan. When putting on the 12 tilak marks on the 12 places of the body, one has to chant the mantra consisting of these 12 Vishnu names. Also, when one anoints the different parts of the body with water, these names should be chanted as one touches each part of the body. Purport. While marking the body with tilak, one should chant the following mantra, which consists of the 12 names of Lord Vishnu. Lalate Keshava, Dayanam, Narayanam, Adhodare. Yakshastale, Madhavam tu, Govindam Kanta, Kukapake. Vishnum cha Daksina, Kusam Banu cha Madhasudanam, Trivikram, Lanhare, Tu Vamanam, Vama Parspake, Sriharam Vam, Srihara Vama Bakutu, Rishikesh tu, Kandhare, Prishtecha Padmanabham, Cha Katam Damodaram Nasyat. Nyaset. When one marks the forehead with tilak, he must remember Keshava. When one marks the lower abdomen, he must remember Narayan. For the chest, one should remember Madhava. And when marking the hollow of the neck, one should remember Govinda. Lord Vishnu should be remembered while marking the right side of the belly. And Madhusudana should be remembered when marking the right arm. Trivikram should be remembered when marking the right shoulder. And Vamana should be remembered when marking the left side of the belly. Sridhar should be remembered while marking the left arm. And Rishikesh should be remembered when marking the left shoulder. Padmanabha and Damodar should be remembered when marking the back. 203. From Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, there are 8 additional pastime expansions. O Sanata, please hear as I mention their names. The 8 pastime expansions are Purusottama, Achyuta, Nrsimha, Janardana, Hari, Krishna, Adhokshaja, and Upendra. Of these 8 expansions, 2 are pastimes forms of Vasudeva. Their names are Adhokshaja and Purusottama. The 2 pastime forms of Sankarshan are Upendra and Achyuta. The pastime forms of Pradyumna are Nrsimha, Janardana, and the forms of Aniruddha are Hari and Krishna. All these 24 forms constitute the chief Prabhavilas pastime forms of the Lord. They are named differently according to the position of the weapons in their hands. All of these forms that differ in dress and features are distinguished as Vaibhava Vilas. Of them, Padmanabha, Trivikram, Nrsimha, Vamana, Hari, Krishna, and so on, all have different bodily features. Vasudeva and the 3 others are direct Prabhav pastime forms of Lord Krishna. Of these quadruple forms, the pastime expansions are 20 in number. All these forms preside over different Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual world, beginning from the east in consecutive order. There are 3 different forms in each of the 8 directions. Although they all have their residences eternally in the spiritual sky, some of them are situated within the material universes. There is an eternal residence of Narayan in the spiritual sky. And the upper portion of the spiritual sky is a planet known as Krishna Loka, which is filled with all opulences. The planet of Krishna Loka is divided into 3 sections: Gokul, Mathura, and Dwarka. Lord Keshava, eternally resides at Mathura, and Lord Purusottama, known by the name Jagannath, eternally resides in Nikala. At Prayag, the Lord is situated in Bundu Madhava, and at Mandara Parvat, the Lord is known as Madhusudana, Vasudeva, Padmanabha, and Janardana reside at Anandaranya. At Vishnu Kanchi, there's the Lord Vishnu. At Mayapur, Lord Hari. And throughout this universe, a variety of other forms. Purport. All of these forms are Murti forms, and they are worshipped in the temples. Their names are Keshava at Mathura, Purusottama at Jagannath, Keshava at Mathura, Purusottama or Jagannath at Nikala, Sri Bindu Madhava at Prayag, Madhusudana at Mandara, and Vasudeva, Padmanabha, and Janardana at Anandarayana, which is situated in Kerala, South India. At Vishnu Kanchi is Lord Varadarja, and Hari is situated at Mayapur, Lord Chaitanya's birth site. Thus, in different places throughout the universe, there are various deity temples bestowing their causeless mercy upon the devotees. All these deity forms are non-different from the Murtis in the spiritual world of the Vaikunthas. Although the Archa Murti, the worshipable deity form of the Lord, appears to be made of material elements, it is as good as the spiritual forms found in the spiritual Vaikuntha Lokas. Haribol. The deity in the temple, however, is visible to the material eyes of the devotee. It is not possible for one in the material condition of life to see the spiritual form of the Lord. To bestow causeless mercy upon us, the Lord appears at the Archamurti so that we can see him. It is forbidden to consider the Archamurti to be made of stone or wood. This is described, this is the special mercy. This is how we approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have his chanting his holy names, and we have this deity form that we can serve, and that service begins with chanting, and it begins with singing, when and taking care of the deities, and when the curtains are open, that service, we not only offer respects, but we sing prayers, offer prayers when the Lord is present. Immediately one should offer their obeisances and then offer prayers. Because of our such a neophyte state, Prabhupada has given us the prayers that we should offer the deities, the formal prayers that we should offer at specific times. But they're not limited to just those times. Devotees, can sing bhajans. They can pick a prayer and sing bhajans, or just chant Krishna's holy names. These things all are done for the glorification of the Supreme Lord. So continue. No one should consider the deity in the temple to be made of stone or wood, nor should one consider spiritual master an ordinary human being. No one should consider a Vaishnava to belong to a particular caste or greed. No one should consider Charnamrita or Ganges water to be like ordinary water. Nor should one consider the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to be a material vibration. All these expansions of Krishna in the material world are simply demonstrations of the Lord's mercy and willingness to give facility to his devotees who are engaged in his devotional service within the material world. So he's equal to everybody. But he favors his devotees. So it might appear like a contradiction, but the mercy is there for everybody. Anybody can take it up. The chanting goes out, Sankirtan parties go out, books go out, and it's an individual decision whether they want to accept or reject it. But the mercy is equal to everybody. is described. So in this way, the Lord shows his love for the living entities and his compassion for the living entities. It's just up to us to approach him and take advantage of that mercy that's given. And you can just see that even when you associate the temples, so many places the mercy comes in. It comes from every single devotee. It bestows a little bit of benediction, a little bit of mercy to each of us. So this is why it's so potent for us to have the association of devotees. And then when you have kirtans, and you multiply all those people chanting, that mercy in itself becomes multiplied. That's the good thing about those sadhu sanghas. And every temple, doesn't matter if you have 10 people, 2 people, 1 people, but if you have a couple of thousand people chanting Krishna's name, it's that the potency that's manifested there. Multitude is it's pretty amazing, the effect that it has when hearing that vibration of Krishna's holy name. Anybody want to say anything? We got the microphone. This is pretty descriptive, this section. It's just, it's sambandhana. It's just what's the relationship, understanding who we are and the relationship with the creation. So it's very important. And then as far as the processes, this is also understanding worshiping the deity as Abhideya. And he described it, it was really interesting, just in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami says that if you want to get love from Krishna, you have to love Krishna. And what is that love? That's just what we discussed. It came out here a little bit. It's lobha. It's intense greed. And his Rupa Goswami said, if you can find it anywhere in the marketplace, purchase it immediately. Right? So that's our goal. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. What was it? Oh, Kerala. We can go look at that real quick. Kerala. I don't have all these. I'm nowhere close to it. Did you have it? Let's see if we can find it. It's in one of these purports. Anyway, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Nandar Agom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Samin Niti Namande Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vacha Nivasesha Shunyavade Pasyachagade Satarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Go Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Pala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Nayarat, Hagurukanana, Gurukanana, hey. Nayarat, Hagurukanana, Gurukanana, hey. Nayarat, hey. Run, Jai Om.
Cheto Darpanam Arjanam Bhavadavagni Nirvapanam Kreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam. Thank you very much. Pratibanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smarane Nakala Adrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Nurapi Suhishuna Amani Anadena Kirtaniya Sahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Hainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishameva Vambuda Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrushim Vachintaya Nayanam Galadju Daraya Varanam Gadgarudaya Gira Pulakar Nishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyava Padaratam Anastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatu Lampato Matprananatastusa Evanapara. Victory to the Sri